Okay, welcome to another CI for Life podcast. I'm Rick Hyland. Today's topic is 8 steps to have more frequent and effective crucial conversations. And two principles before I get to the 8 steps, and that is that I've been thinking about lately and researching. One is the 4-to-1 rule of positive to negative feedback, and the rule says that for every one piece of crucial improvement feedback, critical feedback we should give 4 positives. Why? Psychologists and researchers have shown that in our brain, negative feedback, we hold on to, and it impacts our nervous system, our limbic system, way more lasting and powerfully than positive feedback. So to outweigh that, we need to make sure, not just in one conversation, but overall, that we're really focusing on the positive. If with your teenagers or kids or employees or peers, you're triangulating and mostly giving negative feedback, you wonder why they're not as responsive. You wonder why you don't have as much influence with them for change. It's because you're over triangulating on negative feedback, corrective feedback. So you really got to focus and catch people doing things right. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself not being able to influence said person because you're on withdrawal in the emotional bank account, on the relationship bank account. And as we've talked about recently, relationships do matter, even with our peers. Not just, most of us are getting really good at those that report to on building relationships of trust. But in today's organization, so important that we develop across our peer group, those that don't report to us or that may dotted line report to us. We have to have these relationships of trust. And one rule of thumb is to think about, you have to have more positives than negative. If you're constantly negative, what's that person's not going to be one around you. They're going to be defensive, all the negative stuff that we think about. If you don't believe me, think about trying to do that to your kids. If you're 4 negatives to 1 positive, how's that relationship going to be? Are they going to be listening to you? Are they going to be want to being around you? Same thing with employees. Second principle to go over before I go over the 8 steps. The principle is, and I think this will be the next podcast, handling conflict quickly and calmly, rather than turning a blind eye, rather than hoping it'll blow over. Usually it festers and builds and ruins effective work relationships and therefore accomplishing your goals. Because in today's companies, you need to work together. And if we're in deficit or we've got a conflict that's just hanging over us, I know this is a hard one. This is a hard one for me, but we need to learn to deal with conflict quickly and calmly. As I reviewed this with key clients, they laugh and chuckle. Oh, the calmly part is what I need to. Many people wait, don't tackle it, don't discuss the hard things, don't discuss that, and then blow up. I know, guilty with my kids. And that's not the way to do it. Deal with the conflict quickly and calmly. I noticed yesterday that there was tension in the discussion about X, Y, and Z. Can we discuss it briefly and see if we can come to some resolution? Okay, so let's go over it. But there is a technique, and some of you may not like all these 8 steps, but the principles are true. And remember, you got to have more positives than negative, and you got to deal with this stuff more frequently and calmly rather than waiting and letting it festering it or build into big problems. So here's the 8 steps real quick. Number 1, show some empathy. Number 2, recognize what they are doing well. Number 3, share your motive, why you're giving this feedback. Number 4, ask for permission. Number 5, share the insight or feedback or critical insight that you might have that'll help them improve. Number 6, have a discussion. Number 7, come to a plan of action or improvement. And number 8, stay close. Okay, let's go over some scenarios, or let me build a little bit more detail into those 8 steps. So number 1, I see you. I see how hard you're working. Show some empathy. I'm much more willing to listen to your critical feedback for improvement if I know you see what I'm doing well already. Isn't that true? I know you've been working hard on the weekend on this project, on this tank, on this downtime. I appreciate what you're doing there. That goes in with the recognition that you might, and it has to be very specific and genuine, right? Empathy and recognition can go, step one and step two can go so quickly together. It takes like 30 seconds. I see how hard you're working. I see what you're trying to do over here in this area. I really appreciate what you did in that last meeting, how you were so prepared, right? You've opened them up for change. You see them that they're doing things well. And then I always like to share my motive. Do you mind if I share you some feedback? I only want to help you improve. I have some insights that might be valuable to you in order to improve even further, to hit your goals or accomplish your career ambitions. And then I ask permission to do so. Motive, ask permission, step 3 and 4. Why do I ask permission? Because it gives them in control, a sense of control in the discussion. Because when we're always trying to avoid putting them on the defensive, or as the Aussies say, putting them on the back foot. We want to avoid, if at all possible, at least within our control, of them getting defensive. And one of the ways to do that is to ask permission. Do you mind if I share you? I only want to help. Only want to see you further advance your career, your goals. Do you mind if I share you some feedback that might help? And then you get into the feedback. I've noticed that you've been late for meetings. I've noticed that you've had a hard time, been emotional or upset in the last couple of meetings. Do you want to talk about it? Can we talk about it? As you know, we want to share our adverse opinions or have all ideas out, but we want to do so calmly, dispassionately, without getting angry. Can we talk about why that's happening and what we might do to improve it? Or that report's been late, or you weren't prepared for your KPI meeting. Can we discuss that? I really feel like if you get prepared, it's going to help you in front of your peers and your boss really show strong and show what you and your team have been doing. And then have a discussion about it. What do you think? Do you see that? Oh, yeah, I know. I've been so busy lately, or I've been so stressed lately. I did get a little upset at Jennifer. I realized I could do better. And then you have a discussion. Well, what would help you? Do you need to prepare better for those meetings? Do you need to go in calmer? What might we do so that you can show up still sharing your opinion, whether it's, contrary or for the same, but do so calmly and respectfully. We want all types of feedback. We want all sides of the story, but we want to do it respectfully and calmly. Well, yeah, maybe if you see me getting that way, you can give me a quick look. Or, yeah, maybe I can show up to that meeting calmer. I'll take 2 minutes and do 10 deep breaths, whatever it might be. And that's step number 7, you come up with a plan of action. Okay, in our next conversation, do you mind if I follow up and see how you feel that you've been doing on showing up with critical feedback more calmly in meetings and respectfully as always? Yeah, no problem. And then step 8 is just stay close, particularly if you've given them some very hard feedback, you've changed their job, you've taken some responsibilities away. You need to stay close. Don't just let them hang in the wind for weeks, hoping that they take the feedback. Stay close, particularly if it's tough feedback. 2 days later, hey, how are you doing? Do you want to go for coffee? Do you want to go for a walk? How are you? I know that was hard. The change that I gave you a couple of days ago. Are you doing okay? Not that you're going to change your mind necessarily. You just want to show them that you care. Stay close. Help them move through the change. So those are the 8 steps. I shared some examples so that you can kind of see. Hopefully, you can apply it to your situation. But remember the principles behind. You always want to share positives, because the brain really fixates and over triangulates on the negative feedback. And you want to share the challenging critical feedback more often and calmly, always respectfully. We need to have a high performance culture. We need more positive feedback, and we need to share more critical feedback to help people, radical candor, as Kim Scott calls it, to help our organization improve. So we can do both things by doing it always respectfully and following the 8 steps that I just highlighted. So give more positive recognition and give more critical feedback to help people grow and improve and learn, help you and your org and them accomplish their goals. I'm Rick Highland. That's Continuous Improvement for Life. Hope, have a great week. Cheers. Bye.